Science Congress when he addressed to all of us in 2015. And since then, there has been continuous change of and the focus of our scientists in different institutions, whether they are national national laboratories or they are national educational institutions, is on translational research. Translational research is where you do directed basic research, take it to a platform from where you generate some value, and that value is instrumental in increasing the GDP of the country. So that is how it has happened. Now, this translational research has resulted in another major ecosystem that has grown in the country is one of startups. If you see now in the last 10 years, now by 10 years, I would say last 5 to 6 years, there has been a growth of startups in the country. And you have more than about 90,000 to 1 lakh startups today. We have more than 107 unicorns which are come up. And there are large numbers of incubators and things like that. That means the reach of science has resulted in this kind of a growth. All of you are responsible for that. Some of the states particularly have made tremendous contribution in that, particularly if you look at the state level innovation index which Niti Aayog has been bringing out every year, we find states like Karnataka, Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra, and Tamil Nadu, and so on, have made tremendous contribution as far as the improvement in the innovation index is concerned, and that is visible to all of you. Now, there is a certain level of disparity when you look at the state level innovation index, and we find that many states in the west, in the central region, in the other region, have not been able to make a similar kind of contribution. And that is why I agree with Abhay Karandikar, Dr. Abhay Karandikar, when he says that there has to be a major contribution of the states as far as investment in the science and technology is concerned. And that investment should be not considered as something like superfluous. It has to be considered as a necessity for improving the economy of the state. Because anything which you do in science and technology has direct relevance to any sector, whether it is agriculture, whether it is health, whether it is tourism, transport, anything. And that's why Government of India today has again changed the strategy on how the various missions should be taken. I don't know whether Dr. Karandikar mentioned or Dr. Sood mentioned, but today government has announced different missions. We have a quantum mission, we have a cyber physical system mission, we have a deep ocean mission, we have mission on space, you are aware of that, we have similar missions in agriculture and so on, and similarly health sector. So these missions are basically to promote the penetration of science into the various social sectors which are of importance to us, and that is what is happening. Now, as again Honorable Prime Minister has always been saying, that this cannot happen unless there is a participation of the states. We have today jumped in the Global Innovation Index from 80 to 40 in the last about 7 years. Now this 40 to 10 is what the journey we have to do. And that journey cannot be done unless we are having the participation of the states in an equal manner. And participation in both in terms of improving the education standards, the research standards of the state universities as compared to the national institutions. We recently did a lot of survey on state universities and state other educational institutions. We find glaring disparity vis-a-vis the central institutions in terms of the quality of education, in terms of quality of research, in terms of percentage of research, in terms of investments that are being done. So if you see all of them, which was again visible from the statistics which Professor Sood mentioned, that 67% is government and 35% like that. So that glaring disparity should be overcome. We have to put the right investment and improve all of them. Now, if you really want to look at all this, you will notice that the journey can be completed if you take initiatives like sectoral initiative. Every state has some strong point. For example, like Gujarat. I was in Gujarat recently in the Vibrant Gujarat thing. I realized that they have put in a lot of focus on energy sector. Today, they are actually one of the largest renewable energy proponent today. The research area as far as Gujarat is concerned in the energy sector is significant. Similarly, when we are trying to do from Niti Aayog state support mission, we are taking in the state support mission to various states what all are the strong areas and wherein they can pitch in. And that is where we identified, for example, Mr. Parmar is here, we worked on with the Indore, IIT Indore, and we said that why not we have in that sector, in that region, a VLSI center, which will be able to take the design and development of the semiconductor devices and chips, because there is a focus available, IIT faculty is available, and in the Indore area you have the kind of infrastructure which is needed for doing that kind of work. Similarly, we have to identify in other states also similar things like we have done in the case of Gujarat. I call upon all the honorable ministers and call upon all the secretaries to do that kind of a very proactive approach, wherein they can do an analysis of the strengths and weaknesses of their system and work on the strengths, try to bridge the gaps as far as they are concerned. The another area which is of importance in which we have made very major contribution is in terms of sustainability. Sustainability is one area where we had to pitch in with the science with sustainable science as we call it, and that is directly related to the areas like climate change and environmental benefits what we have. And in that sense, we have identified many areas like carbon capture, utilization and storage. We have identified areas like renewable energy. We have identified areas for augmenting our nuclear capabilities in terms of small modular reactors and so on. Now, each one of that has got a major has a possibility of major participation of the state. For example, your state may be having a large number of cement plants, they may be having steel plants and all that. Now we should try to make sure that there is a policy initiative to insist that all these plants are fitted with carbon capture and utilization facility that will ensure reduction in the emissions and your state pollution index will improve. Similarly, one should go for more and more control as far as the mobility is concerned. When you say that your state, what is the contribution to pollution due to the vehicles, how fast you are changing over to e-mobility, how fast you are taking to the hybrid mobility. So these are the areas I would recommend that a specific focus has to be done. To the end, I would say what Dr. Karandikar mentioned, that we have the National Research Foundation. इन्होंने हिंदी में बताया था, मैं उसका इंग्लिश नाम बता रहा हूँ. National Research Foundation, which has been now instituted, which will be run by the Department of Science and Technology. There is a special focus in that on the R&D in states and R&D in the state universities. Now, I think that provision should be certainly made use of by all states for improving the R&D contribution of the states in that. The mechanism should be worked out. I think probably we will have some workshop sometime with other states on that particular issue, how NRF should support as far as the state's contribution to the science and technology is concerned. I wish all of you a very happy time as far as this festival is concerned. But I think we should carry some messages from this, and those messages should translate and transform the R&D in the states. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much.